Good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for coming in. The whole idea is how can we all work together effectively? And the best ways of working together is actually through our communities. And it is so good to see so many different communities here today, which I think is our power. So the first thing is, please, you see the hashtag zero casualty. If you're on Twitter, please tweet, because let me show you how our community will grow. So let's start with Project Agos and a quick basic definition of what we're doing. Social network, we know this, right? It's our family and friends. This is our physical social network. What is social media? This is our informal definition always. It is your family and your friends on steroids. Because all of a sudden, you still take your family and friends, but you've got no boundaries of time and space. Crowdsourcing is when a lot of people, and every single person here, actually takes their community with them. So crowdsourcing is when one person does one small task that then create something that we couldn't have done alone. We actively accomplish the impossible. I think this is Agos. This, by the way, is also Rappler, which didn't exist 2.5 years ago. So communities do great things together. Let me show you the community we're building, and you can see it real time. Can we pull up? This Reach is a data analytics tool we developed to show you the power of community. And it is going to map the real-time communities we're building right now using hashtag zero casualty. Can you type in, Zach, zero casualty? So what it'll do is it'll take the first 500 tweets on Twitter, and then it'll show us how we are all connected to each other. For social network analysis, when you see how you're connected to each other, you see then how you can mobilize the communities. You can see the informal leaders. So Rappler has been out tweeting your communities. You have to continue to tweet. So let's just look. So Move PH is at the center. Rappler is right behind it. The next big circle. The sizes of the circles have to do with something called the eigenvector centrality, which is how strong are you in broadcasting your message? Derek Alviola is not in this room, but he is outdoing the people in this room. I do see Jed Cortez, who in Tacloban out-tweeted everyone globally for a period of time. He was the most powerful. Jean Ann Pange, is she here? There's Jed. Let's go up on top. Oh, there's Zach. He found himself. So this tool, and this you can use publicly to see how you build your own communities, right? The public link will be out later on. The Rapplers are you guys, I'll tell you the secret to Rappler. It is this. It is social media. And the secret to building capacity into your communities, I believe, is social media. Okay, Rapplers, there are too many of you. We'll move on. So why don't we go? So we're going to go back to this at the end, right? After we finish our discussion. And I'd love to see someone else take the lead in this and build their community. When you have those links, you can trace what flows through those links. Most of the time, it can be information, but almost inevitably, it is emotion. And we hope in Project Agos, the emotion that flows is altruistic, that it is hope. Let me take you through. What is it? What are we all working on together? Project Agos is something that we dreamt of before Rappler was born. It was really one of the reasons we wanted to build a community so that once it scales, we can all do this together. And a lot is because, starting in 2009 when Ondoy hit, I was still with a large network. We felt powerless to map it because we hadn't built communities. So here's the thing. What is it? A platform that combines top-down government action. The top-down, which we know government changes, but we here, we don't change. We live in Manila. We live in Tacloban. We live in these cities, and we have to protect our families. If top-down government workflows can't do it as efficiently as we can, why can't we work together? And that's exactly what it is. Communities are going to have to deal with climate change. And we know how that comes down. So let me show you how we've evolved it in the last year or so, 2 years. Sorry, let me pull it back. So this was the first when we introduced the idea of Agos. There's three ways. There are actually three. So the first three is how can you report bottom-up civic engagement? You can report online, and we hope to make this API available to anyone with a website, to other media groups, to other companies. You can take this and plug it in and have your community join in getting the data and putting in data. So the first is on a website. The second is on text, because everyone carries nearly 2 phones. So we want to make every computer and every cell phone a reporting portal directly to the authorities who can help you. The third is social media. And we use something called a machine learning classifier. The original ideas were actually developed by Ushahidi. Ushahidi uses real people, volunteers, but volunteers get tired after 4 hours, and a crisis continues for far longer than 4 hours. So what it does is the volunteers, the work they do actually teaches the algorithm. And when the volunteers get tired, the algorithm takes over. So we'll show you a 1-minute video to look at, and you look at this one because everything on this video is crowdsourced, including the very dramatic video that a man stood on his roof to shoot and sent it out on social media. Let's look at this. And audio. This was in 2013, and you can look at it. Shot by a guy who was standing on his roof. Sige, you can boost. Yeah. The green are text messages. The blue come in on Twitter, and this is the person you'll see respond is a first responder. So they reported it here. In this room are the people who report, the citizen engaged groups, the civic engagement groups. I see Blog Watch right in front of me. And the people who, well, I see Weather Philippines, who gives the information that citizens need. I see the Red Cross, the people who will come in and rescue. I see government, the people who actually have to bring, governments and LGUs. So then after this is the introduction, right? What happened? A month after this came, we introduced that in a month before Haiyan or Yolanda. And that's what Yolanda looked like from outer space. This is what it looked like on the ground. And the looting began within a day, right? It was horrendous. And here's the part that, of course, crippled all of us. There were no communications. So what can you do when there's no communications? This is again where we think technology, you keep learning, you adapt to it, and that's what each of our communities have to do. This is what we did. The first thing is we put up a crisis tracker, which takes the fire hose of Twitter, and it actually, if you go to the map of the Philippines, if you click the city, you will get every single tweet that mentions the city or is geolocated to the city, so that if you are looking for any information about a loved one or information about that city, all you have to do is click the city. That's the first, a crisis tracker. We worked with OCHA, the UN OCHA, and a group called the Digital Humanitarians. This was put up by Patrick Meyer, who's done a lot of the coding for artificial intelligence for disaster response. This is something where they took all the tweets and they said, where are the volunteers around the world? They categorized and mapped the tweets so that within 24 hours, the UN can have that as kind of a guide of the best and the worst that they would expect on the ground. Of course, this was important for everyone. We asked our crowd, and it's a crowd that grows. We asked everyone to crowdsource mapping cellular signals. And you'll see the big white spot is where there is no information coming in. We mapped roads and infrastructures. We, as in, not Rappler, the people, the crowd, mapped the roads and infrastructure where they can actually go, and if you want to drive through to an area, is the bridge passable? Is there electricity? That was all done by the crowd, real time. We worked with DSWD, got their data, put it up, and then asked the crowd to map where relief operations were and what do people need, and they did on the side. And DSWD was monitoring this as it was going along. And then here's the sad part. The rescue mapping, which we had been doing, meant nothing because nobody could actually tweet or do anything because there was no way out. What happened on the rescue map? People outside the affected areas looking for their families and friends. That's what went there early. And we had a whole slew of inputs asking for their family, any information on this person, any information on this person. The Red Cross knows this. When you're inundated with this, you just want to do something to help. So the Red Cross did its own list. What we did is we tapped several partners, Google and Facebook. Google opened the back end of their person finder to us. Facebook, both of them sent an engineer to come to Manila to help work on opening it up, splicing it together. And here's the best part. Why do we want Facebook? Facebook has a facial recognition system so that if you have a friend who knows that person, they will be told. And that was how some people were found. So if you look here, Facebook, so when we uploaded, Zach was in Tacloban and he uploaded the photos that you saw. He asked people to just hold up the card and their name, and it was uploaded. Once it was uploaded on our site, it was uploaded simultaneously on Google Person Finder and Facebook. And that Facebook facial recognition, the Google power, all kicked in, and it helped find people. This is now a tool we can use for any disaster coming up. Let me show you how it's evolved since then. Let me show you Project Agos during the last, it's a tropical, it wasn't even a typhoon. Hashtag MarioPH that paralyzed Manila. If you take a look here, look at the data point. And let's look at the path. So this is the path of Mario, and it will already have gone through. So you can see how far away it was from the Philippines, right? But you remember how much rain it dumped on us. Now let's look at some examples on the site. You can see here the emergency case, right? And here's the best part that I like. You see the rescue alert that's put up, then emergency case at Villa Monteverde, Manila, Bulacan, PL-HIV, a person with HIV needs to be brought to San Lazaro Hospital, need big vehicle to take him out from flooded area. Contact info. Then Tomasito came in. He gave information, tagged other people, added more stuff, and then Jodes is one of Move. And she said, as of 2:15 p.m., Patrol 117 rescue unit is on its way. That's one. Give me another example. The second one is this was early. 2 women on the roof of Shell Araneta Avenue. Hashtag rescue, please. And you can see here, update, up to 20 women now stranded. Update later, 20 now stranded. People need medical kit for asthma. 20 people currently trapped. And then the update, the PNP is on the way, also coordinating with the Red Cross. Ressa looks 12, but there she is. So Ressa was updating here, and then Jodes came in, PNP rescue team already on their way, and Safe Now. When we see the Safe Now, the very young Move team, they clap. They really, and then here's the one I want to show you, the last example of this, right? Because this shows you how every community worked together to help this woman, to help give birth. May babaeng nagle-labor sa ibabaw ng bubong. A woman is giving birth on the roof of a house, on the roof. along Manunggal Street, Barangay Tatalon, Quezon City, malapit sa Araneta Avenue. Please contact Badette Gabriela Tatalon. Then a number, and it came in through Twitter, right? But the number came in. And then Voltaire, who's also with Move, said, Ressa Delgado, now in labor at Diosdado Macapagal Elementary School. Voltaire said, rescued by the Philippine Red Cross, according to whom? So what I like about this is it took different communities. The platform was there, but different communities came in to help Ressa Delgado, who is here. Ressa Delgado with her baby. You're gonna make me cry. Ressa is with her baby and the Red Cross, who actually rescued them. It's an enabler, and I think that is the beauty of it. It's a tool now that many people have made possible, and to actually help our communities when we come together, it is amazing. Let's go back, please. Let me end with just two things. So, what's happened since then? This is this hardworking Move team, the partnerships that have been up. Again, the citizens are great, but if the first responders, the local government units, the people who actually have to rescue, if they don't know about it, it doesn't help much that we're doing it, right? So the partnerships are important. There are 1,800 local government units, and you can see here we've only hit very few. 1,800. This year, we want 1,800 local government units there. And you will hear from the man who is our gold standard, Governor Joey Salceda, in terms of what one local government unit can do. Here's the other part. It's not just government. Obviously, you've seen that, right? Who are the other? Aside from the government agencies, there have been other partners who've really helped it. Civil society groups and NGOs, and if you're where I'm sitting, you can see the different NGOs and the civil society groups that are here. These are only some of the groups. Again, the goal, this is one of those things where it helps all of us to come together. I'll leave you one last thing. Hashtag Typhoon Glenda. In Rappler, our managing editor's name is Glenda, so it had a different meaning when Typhoon Glenda came through. But hashtag Typhoon Glenda is important because Albay hit 0 casualty, right? And that is really our goal, because you know what? The typhoons will get worse. And we're gonna face much worse, I think, than what we've been through. So we have to prepare now, and there are really 3 things we need to do all together, and that is this: prepare, respond, and recover. What you've seen in real time is only respond, but the prepare part, that work has to go on now, and you will see the Move team going through. What we know about social media, we will share with you, because it will save lives. And those are some of the seminars, those are some of the things we'll be working on with the help of all of our partners. I'll leave you with the video of Typhoon Glenda. The very first time you will see prepare, respond, and recover, reported in real time on social media, and the responses of the team. So if we bring down the lights, this is about a minute long. You can see it, it moves fast. The whole thing is daunting if we cannot do it together. So here it is. This is Glenda. Glenda, known internationally as Ramasun, intensifies as it moves closer to the Bicol Samar area Tuesday. was prepare, respond. Now you're coming into recover. Prepare, respond, recover. That is our short-term, medium-term, and long-term goal. And every step, there's everything we do will help us build capacity to make it possible. There is a man who's already made it possible in his area of influence. You will hear from him. He's also very funny in the process. But the other thing is, we couldn't have done this if you didn't help us. So we want to say thank you. And in particular, you will hear from Ambassador Bill Twaddell at the Australian Embassy for empowering us to be able to actually build this. So here you go. I will hand this back to Zach. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Maria. I credit Maria for always making sure that it's never a quiet period in the office. If you can see her passion, it translates to everybody, especially when there's a disaster. So now I have the honor of introducing. I'll make it very brief because I know he has a lot to say. But before I introduce him, I'm not sure if you know, but Australia is one of our largest bilateral donors for Typhoon Haiyan response. So please, let's give them a big hand. Thank you very much to